So why don't we call to order the meeting of the Plan Commission, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
You did good. Just
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Start with a roll call, please.
not on.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Thank you. So we have a quorum. The first item on our agenda this evening is consideration of the minutes from our meeting of May 7th. Hopefully everybody's had the opportunity to review the minutes.
I don't have any problem with the minutes, but I would think that we'd want to talk about an update on those things, if there are any updates. So I don't know if this is the right time for that discussion or.
Well, how
after we
about
approve
if
the
we get a
minutes.
motion regarding the minutes, and then it would, once it's moved and seconded, then it's open for discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented in our backup materials. I'll second.
Okay, now the minutes are open. So if there are any corrections, additions, any changes to the minutes as presented, now would be the time to go through those.
Yeah, I didn't have any edits to the meeting minutes. I just wanted us to talk about any updates that we may have heard about those items that were discussed. 5.1, for example, request to build on the East Mill Street. So this was almost 2 months ago. So I wasn't sure if there's any updates to share.
Why don't we discuss that in old business?
Fair enough.
Okay. Anything else regarding the minutes themselves?
No.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion's passed and the minutes are approved. The next item on our agenda, moving right in, Chris, it's old business. So
Okay.
we can talk about anything. We can even talk about it before we get to item 3.1, which I think is certainly proper. So go right ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so my question is, anyone here on the board have heard of any updates, or Jim has any updates on these things that were talked about, the request to build at East Mill Street, et cetera?
What do you got on East Mill Street? I don't have anything in front of me.
East Mill Street, 18 and 20.
Okay.
Ron presented a slide about
Yeah.
people trying to build in the location of the old grain elevator property zone
Yep.
B2.
B2, yes. We got a fella Ron was working with, just to get some idea of what he's gonna build. And it's basically like a personal storage for himself, so.
Yeah, I don't think you were at that meeting, were you?
But he hasn't come back in and filed anything.
Oh,
or-
he's got his permits and everything. Yeah, that's a B2. It's zoned for what he's doing. His use is correct, so he's allowed to build that there.
Okay, so he
Also-
doesn't need anything from
No.
the plan commission.
No, Ron kind of guided, we wanted to make sure he wasn't renting it out. He's paving the parking lot, things like that. A little better than what they have at Depot and Mill, the storage down there with the trucks and the gravel drives. We just didn't want it to be like that.
Okay,
So the work has progressed since the last
Yeah,
meeting. He's come in and asked for you for
They've laid down
permits.
quite a bit so
Okay.
far, yeah.
Then there was a code review, 5.2, including sidewalk sprinklers, basketball goals, signage. Ron Raleigh presented suggestions for updating the current code.
I don't think anything's happened on that.
Okay. Is that something we want to keep on our radar screen?
I don't know that we're ready tonight to do anything on that, but,
I think what Ron's intent was at that time was to go review some of the old codes and see if any of them needed updated. I think similar to what Jenny and Chief have been doing with some of our ordinances to see if there's any that are out of line. I think Ryan, you had looked into this a little bit.
Yeah, and I'd presented some ideas.
Yeah.
Did I ever send those to you, Zach?
No, not that you may have, not that I recall, but I think it was sprinklers, basketball goal signage, sidewalks, and you guys had done some work on that, you and Ron at the time, but
Well, yeah,
that was again 2 months ago.
yeah, I talked to Ron and let him know I was going to present that to everybody, and I think I gave everybody a handout. I don't think it went any further though. It was something we talked about. Maybe we all thought it was worth looking into, and I don't think it ever went anywhere. So maybe that's something that we need to bring up at the next meeting. Put that under continued old business, and if I still have my handout, which I'll check my typewriter, see if it's still in there.
See if it's saved on the typewriter.
Yeah, see if I saved it on a typewriter. I should have that still.
So is that an agenda for the plan commission or that for the town council?
The planning commission.
Okay. And then you mentioned you'd asked Zach if he'd sent, is that?
Yeah, I thought I gave everyone a handout regarding sidewalks. For the first year, typically the HOAs are in charge of the the homeowners in charge of the sidewalk, and then the HOA takes it over. Things like that. Basketball goals need to be maintained in a neat, orderly manner. No irrigation systems within the right of way, because I know there's been some sprinkler systems being put in between the back of the sidewalk and the street. And if we ever have to do any road maintenance in that area, that becomes problematic. And then, the town doesn't need any more sidewalks to maintain or take care of. So realistically, it should be up to the HOA to maintain those and make sure they're ADA compliant. This is something that we do in the county. Responsibility of the HOA and stuff. And especially with the size of the subdivisions, it's just not something that we need to, that the town needs to fund. So these are all things I brought up. I'll see if I can find that.
I think the sidewalks is the ordinance that has to do with the subdivision control plan, right?
Yeah, it would be in the covenants of the neighborhood when they submit the plat.
Right.
Yeah, it would be in those covenants that that after the first year, then the homeowner's responsible for it the first year. You build a house, that's just the way it goes. You build a house, you pay for the sidewalk out front,
Right.
and then after that, the HOA is responsible for maintaining the sidewalks if they get cracked, broken, or if you get a right-of-way permit to do work in your yard, and you have a contractor that comes in and drives across the sidewalk and busts it, then it would be up to the homeowner to fix that. That way the town's not out repairing sidewalks. Like, if somebody in Copperstone gets something done in their backyard and they drive a Bobcat over it, we don't feel like we should have to, my tax money shouldn't go to
Right.
pay for their
Absolutely.
error. So I don't think the town shouldn't take on that burden anymore in the future. We
Right.
need to delegate that to the neighborhoods that get built. And if we put that in the covenants, I think we can handle that.
When I think what you had marked up at the last meeting was either something from the subdivision control plan ordinance or some other part of the ordinance, I believe.
Yeah, I had
I
taken,
don't have those notes with me, but
I had taken context out of some of the research that I'd done on the county level, pulled some of that verbiage out and changed some of that verbiage to fit the town. So that's kind of what I did with the basketball goals, sidewalk maintenance, and the irrigation stuff. So it's copy and paste, really. I mean, no reason to reinvent the wheel. So,
yeah,
but
no,
I'll put that under, we'll do that under old business for the next meeting for sure, and see if we can't get something finalized on that.
the next thing on here was Axe Heads expansion,
We heard anything else? Okay.
potential barn conversion. I think that was the building east, west of town.
Oh, no, that's right across the street.
Oh, it is,
Yeah.
okay.
That's, he's converting that. It's an R3, which is rental. He's converting that into 2 rentals.
Is that kind of the same thing that's,
It's zoned. Yeah.
okay,
He's got an architect working on the building.
that's
It's
progressing,
gonna be a big improvement for that barn as well. So, it's
so it'll
huge.
make the Main Street look better even, right?
Yeah, it makes that void spot look better when you look down that street, so.
Okay. housing addition annexation, that's just, so it's kind of a standing thing, right?
Standing, yeah.
And then, which is probably why these ordinances that we're gonna talk, the one we're gonna talk about here and the one that we just talked about, there's some urgency there because we want to get those architectural standards in place
Yeah.
before anything came in front of us again.
I think that dovetails perfectly into item 3.1 on our agenda, and that is discussion regarding the architectural committee. So I'll just open the floor regarding that.
So this is going to be just for discussion tonight, no vote. If a public hearing was not noted, so that will be at the next meeting. But what we need to do tonight is just establish a date for the public hearing. And tonight's discussion can be any amendments that you see fit. Of course, all of you were at the town council meeting. And I did make the recommended amendments to this one. So if there are any further amendments, discussion, addition, Councilor Reed is here as well.
Bear with me, I'm trying to find.
So we couldn't make those amendments tonight. We could just discuss those and then we would have to have the public hearing, then come back, then make the amendments.
Correct.
And
Okay.
adopt it. Yeah, we're not ready to adopt it,
But we can
but
talk
we can
about it.
certainly discuss it.
Yeah, awesome.
So, and I know just historically, there's been a lot of interest, whether it's the Plan Commission itself or creating a committee, but we need criteria so that when a developer comes in or a potential builder of a home, so that we can give them something that talks about setbacks, lot size, density, parking requirements, any other requirements that we deem
Architectural
appropriate.
requirements.
All of the architect landscaping requirements. Those are things that many municipalities already have that in place so that, you don't run into a situation where somebody comes in with a site plan that most people would look at and not be in favor of. So you've set minimums, and it's not binding, but at least it's telling them this is what we want to see.
Gives us more of a leg to stand on.
Absolutely. And to me, the biggest advantage is just letting people know in advance what's expected. And within that same criteria, you can outline things that you would not allow. So that's something else. If we create an architectural review committee, looking at the standards, there may be certain building materials or certain types of structures, whatever. There may be things that you want to specifically say, these are not allowed in town limits. Whatever that is. Alligator pits or whatever.
Yeah, may I say something? Zach,
Yes, sir.
how does that fall into the Fair Housing Act? Or is that relative, when you try to zone? And I kind of know where it's going, but how do you be careful? Because you're walking kind of a rope there. You can get into trouble.
Sure, as far as like prohibiting certain housing within certain areas, that's a complicated and loaded question. Yeah, I don't know if I can answer that just right off the top of my head at this moment, but it's something we do need to pay attention to as we move forward with this, and as well as it kind of dovetails my next point is it your all's view or desire to give this architectural review committee teeth or enforcement capabilities, or is it purely a vehicle to recommend things to the plan commission, and you all be the so-called enforcers of town standards?
I guess I would see, as we look at the roles and responsibilities here, which, Zach, you've added the first one that I was bringing up at the last meeting, to establish standards, regulations, commitments, and provide recommendations to the planning commission. So that's creating, I think that's the language I said at the last meeting. number one thing this group needs to do is create the standards.
Right.
And then make recommendations to the plan commission. Plan commission, quote unquote, enforces those standards.
Yeah,
So
and,
forth.
and I think that having the architectural review committee being advisory
Mhm.
is the intent. And then it is ultimately up to the plan commission. If for whatever reason, the plan commission disagreed with the architectural review committee, I can't imagine that they would, but if they did, then I would think that the plan commission should be able to trump that.
Yeah, absolutely. It
So-
had to be that way,
Sure.
or it should be that way.
So I think, does that help, Zach?
That does, yes. Because there are other municipalities that have architectural review committees, for lack of a better term, that do essentially enforce standards separate from the plan commission. So,
That would seem to me delegating their responsibility.
Right.
Which is not what
Yeah. Well,
we
and
want to do. Yeah.
so back to Jim, your question, this is 100% arbitrary. I'm not saying this is, but just a scenario. Let's say that the architectural review committee says that the only fencing that is allowed in a front yard is a vinyl or a wood picket fence or something, and specifically said you can't have a chain link fence in your front yard.
We don't allow fences in the front yard.
See, the committee's already one step ahead.
That's why he's using an
It was a
example
hypothetical.
that's not really reality.
Let's say your backyard, you wanted to put up a chain link fence, and say the architectural review committee wanted to say it could be no more than 5 feet or 6 feet or whatever. I don't think you're getting into any fair housing issues.
Oh, no.
You definitely are getting into pricing issues.
And those could be delegated back to the builder itself. Those could be key, components to say, this is kind of what we want, what we're saying, and then they put it in their bylaws,
And it's like
That's-
anything
yeah.
that's set, if somebody were to come in with a compelling reason to say, here's why I need an 8-foot fence or a 10-foot fence or whatever, then so be it. But just coming up with the criteria,
Yeah.
it lets people know up front.
Yeah.
Don't bring us a subdivision that has a 12-foot setback between your front door and the sidewalk. I think
Yeah.
we've seen something close to that, because you can't park 2 cars. And then that means there'll be many cars on the street. And when you have cars parked on both sides of the street, then you can't get a fire truck through the street. So, that's exactly the kind of standards that we want to identify, so that there is no question. And then a developer, right up front, they can look at the size of a parcel. It's 80 acres, and based on these criteria and these setbacks, this is how many homes or lots I can get, and I'm either willing to invest or I'm not. Because we had a scenario where a developer said, it's take it or leave it, I won't change anything. And thank goodness we said, leave it, because it was not a safe design. But that's what this committee should be doing,
Right.
is coming up with those criteria.
I agree.
So,
So Zach, you mentioned that you made the updates from the town council meeting. And
Correct.
I know that the first one here was part 1, section D, roles and responsibilities.
correct.
What else was updated
There
from?
was a mention of, I don't remember where it was now, but the use of the word shelters, we removed to be more inclusive of any building as a whole within the town. So I think there was some limiting language.
Structures.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
structures.
appearance of structures. is what it was.
So the term,
And so I removed, or I believe I removed some language so that the architectural review committee would have the oversight over anything within the town, not just whatever the word
Structures
initially
was, okay.
Yes.
And also on subsection D, roles and responsibilities, 1, it was, we had review applications for their compatibility with all applicable standards, regulations, and commitments. That's what was, and you changed it to established standards, regulations and commitments and provide recommendations to the planning commission.
Correct.
So that was,
Yes, because there were no standards to go by.
And as I understand the process, and Zach, please help me if I'm wrong, that our next step, we need to schedule a meeting where we have a public hearing.
Correct.
So that's the next step, because ultimately, we want to make sure procedurally, we go through the right steps to create the committee.
Correct.
Then the committee can be appointed, established, and start preparing the standards and the things that we want them to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Got to have a public hearing, and then it can go back to the town council. It can still be amended at that time and then adopted. And it as soon as it's adopted, it will take effect within the ordinance. So it's kind of
okay. So in the meantime, we can read over this information and then wait for the public hearing, and we can take public input on this as well.
correct.
Then we can have another meeting and make amendments, and
The recommendation back to the
changes.
town council.
because we'll want public input on this too. 'Cause-
Absolutely.
And can I request that in the notice that we direct people to our website so that we put the proposed ordinance on the website so that people can see the same thing that we're looking at? I mean, I don't want to publish it in
Sure.
the newspaper, but at least make it available. And that way it'll make for much more meaningful public input.
Sure. And I believe most of those notices will have language saying that the proposed ordinance is on file at town hall. So
Yeah.
they can stop in it.
And available on our website.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I think it'd say it's on file here and also available.
And
Most people will
Once
probably
they
want to
go
check it
through
on the
too.
website, and it's easier to do so.
yeah,
Some people still like to come in.
they're welcome.
Right, exactly. We want them to. Right?
Absolutely. So, okay, so let's talk about scheduling the next meeting.
If I may.
No, absolutely.
Just one, there's a typo here, Zach, under roles and responsibilities, section D. It's 1, 2, 3, and the 5. Is that, I mean, if we just change that to 4 right now, we can do that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can make that change. Have that ready for the next meeting.
Yeah, fair enough.
To get this going, do we want to schedule a public hearing for August 6th before the next town council meeting? There's no other commissions that are meeting at that time, so we could set it for 6:30 on the 6th.
The 6th, and make it 6:30 instead of 6?
There's no other meetings, so I don't think.
And, well, how about if we, yeah, because we'll have the public hearing during that meeting. Is that correct, Zach?
That's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
you open it, gavel it open, and then gavel it closed if no one says anything.
Okay.
So if it goes longer.
We can make it 6 if we want. At that point, we're talking 30 minutes, but.
Right, I mean, worst case, the town council meeting just gets delayed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and the good thing, other than it might, even if the town council meeting did start late, you can always start late. You can't start early. So, but if we make it 6, then at least, I don't care. I'll be here either way, so you tell me what folks prefer.
Good either way. I've been wrong before, but I don't know that we'll have a ton of turnout of the architectural review committee, but I've been wrong before.
Say it might affect their sewer rates, we might.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody is saying that.
There's no food truck discussions. Okay.
Let's do 6:30.
6:30? Okay. So I'll make a motion that we schedule a meeting during which we'll have the public hearing for August the 6th at 6:30 PM and request that notice be put out so that we can have that public hearing.
I'll second that motion.
And does that need to go in the newspaper, Zach?
It is, and I'll draft that and get that to you.
Do we have discussion now?
Yes, absolutely.
This is a 10-day notice, is that right?
10 days.
But we have to get it in the newspaper,
Yes. So
and it doesn't go every day.
that's correct. The Daily Reporters, the Greenfield Daily Reporter, they publish on Wednesdays,
And Saturday.
and Saturdays, correct? That, for a Wednesday publication, the notice will be due this Friday, Friday by 5 p.m. So that leaves plenty of time for, a 10-day notice. So I'll have that published, or sent to the Greenfield Reporter by Friday.
Okay.
And you're sending it to the reporter?
Correct.
Perfect, thank you.
So there's no logistics they have to do then, sounds like.
We have to advertise it.
And post it.
Okay.
Advertise and post it here. We'll take care of the
And
publication.
you'll CC
So you got plenty of
Jenny
time.
so she's
I
tracking.
can, yeah.
Yeah, if you CC Jenny, that'd make me feel good. So then she knows it's done. All right, nailed it.
Okay,
No other discussion.
perfect.
No further discussion.
Another meeting.
New business, yes.
Oh, yeah, we need to vote.
Oh, thank you very much. We had a motion, a second. We had a lot of discussion. All those in favor of the motion of having that meeting on August the 6th, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we will have a meeting August the 6th at 6:30. Ryan, you were saying we need to schedule another meeting?
We need to schedule another planning commission meeting before the 19th.
Yeah, the one that's set right now is what, the October 16th or something, right? So that's the only thing that's scheduled.
Okay, so we need another meeting in August before the 19th.
Yes.
So what about a week from the 6th, which would be the 13th? Does that happen? Does that work for everybody?
Why do we need this one? Sorry, just to clarify.
We may need to fill a spot.
Yeah, the composition of the plan commission, we may need to
And
take
ti-
action.
Timeline wise, the 19th is the deadline. So we need to do that before
Could we do
possibly.
that? Can we? Can we need? Yeah, isn't that appointed?
Well,
Number one,
well-
number two. Can we do that on the 6th?
Actually, because it's,
Correct.
well, depending on,
Per this handy dandy handout that somebody
Reference
whose
that
name
one.
rhymes with
well,
And I could be wrong about that.
I don't
this
see,
would be a
because
president.
actually-
This would be a president of town council
See,
appointee.
Okay.
So it'll
So
be
there
council.
may be action on that time.
There won't be.
Okay.
well,
could be.
so let me ask, if there's a position to be filled, who is the body that fills it?
President.
Okay, that's a president one?
So the council will make that determination, not us. So we don't need a,
We don't need a meeting for that.
So the only thing we need a meeting for is the follow-up on the public hearing
correct.
to update the ordinance for the architectural committee.
Correct. Right? Is that how you read it?
Yep, Zach,
we
is
could-
that,
That's correct.
Which we
Yep.
could do on the 20th, right? Maybe right before the,
Good.
I like that.
Let's do it.
Yep. I'll make a motion that we schedule a plan commission meeting for August 20th at 6:30.
I'll second.
is there any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. I am not aware of any other items, but certainly open the floor. If anybody has anything else they'd like to discuss, now would be the perfect time to do so.
the only thing I'd like to say is the August 20th meeting now has an agenda to follow up on the ordinance for the architectural committee. And then we're going to have old business on the agenda, a standing agenda item for the signage and the basketball goals and on that ordinance for that discussion.
Yeah, we can discuss it.
Yeah. So we'll have two things to talk about on the 20th.
If I may,
Kind of
so
exciting, isn't it?
the August 6th meeting is now moved to August 20th. Is that what?
No, the August
sorry.
6th meeting is the public hearing.
Public
Yes.
hearing.
So after that, you don't have to follow up on any part of the ordinance change. It goes to the town council then. So you just have one part in this. So after the public hearing, if you approve after the public hearing, it goes to the town council. It doesn't come back to the
to the
So
planning
we have
commission.
discussion and update this, and then we approve it, have motions and approve.
Right,
language
it's
we
same
come
meeting
up with.
as the, yes, and then it's to the town council for final approval.
Okay, and then
Yes.
that would have to be updated by you or somebody before it goes to the council,
Correct,
per our discussion.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we cancel the planned meeting on August 20th at 6:30 p.m.
You go ahead and second.
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any discussion on that motion? All those in favor of canceling the August 20th meeting, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Perfect. Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor of adjourning, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.